impromptu, let's just start it and get going and see what happens after that kind of weekly video, which means I need to find where the link is so I can drop it into the Twitter. I'm doing Blue Sky now as well. If you're on Blue Sky, let me know. Most of the reason why I'm doing Blue Sky is it started getting very, very popular, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm entirely sure why. I can speculate, and I think, well, some of it's due to Elon, but not all of it, is it? Because people went to Mastodon because Elon, and now people seem to be going from Mastodon to, who knows? Anyway, let's copy the link. I'm going to show you what's behind me in a moment. Some of you are going to recognize the bottom of that, and all of you are going to recognize the top of it when I flick over to there. Okay, paste that in there. I do have an agenda. When I say an agenda, stuff I'm going to talk about. It's not a alternate agenda or one of those things. Mastodon. This is the main problem I have, at least when it was Twitter, for all its other ails at the moment, and I will admit there are some ails. At least when it was Twitter, there was one place I had to go and share well, I did Facebook and LinkedIn as well, but stuff like this, there was one place. Bluesky.app. Let's give Blue Sky a go and we'll see how that goes. Paste, post. Yep, that's probably fine. Okay, done. Right. Let me show you where I am. Check this out. That is ridiculous. Like, I have seen some tall buildings. This tower, Taipei 101, all the stuff in New York. I think we've got the Southern Hemisphere's largest tower on the Gold Coast. It's always a bit of a concession when those of us in Australia go, we've got the Southern Hemisphere's largest, biggest, whatever. It's like, well, it's half the globe, but there's not much there. It's not a high bar. Anyway, cheers. Welcome to Dubai. So, let me jump into sponsor first. We're going to do a brand new sponsor this week. Sponsor is Rubrik. Cyber attacks are guaranteed. Fair call. Is your recovery. Protect your data in the cloud. Join Rubrik's Cloud Resilience Summit. They've got a link through here to their summit, 11th of December. We're 4 days from now. We timed this sponsorship just perfectly. Total cloud cyber resilience because your business depends on it. At Rubrik's Cloud Resilience Summit, data security leaders will share how to keep cloud data resilient in the face of cyber attacks, insider threats, and operational disruptions. And they are a very data breach aware organisation. You can see what the sponsorship works. Don't let breaches stop you. Reducing your cloud costs, getting rid of the rot, eliminating sensitive data anxiety, which I personally recommend you do by, at least in part, eliminating sensitive data that you don't need to have, and getting back to business faster. So big thanks to Rubrik for their inaugural sponsorship of the blog, and what a place to do it. This is wild. So every night, just behind me here, they have this. If you've ever been to Vegas, or you've seen like Bellagio in Vegas, so the big hotel there, and they've got the fountains and stuff everywhere, it's like that, but kind of cooler, because this is like literally our balcony in our room, and everything behind us just turns into like this this fountain orchestrated dance. And then the Burj, the great big massive tower here, I think 840 meters high from memory. We went up there yesterday. That whole thing gets lit up, and there's a big light show, and it almost turns into it's like an 8-bit movie game, right? That kind of definition, where there's just stuff all over it, and it's just absolutely stunning to see. So yeah, massively impressed here. But if I go back a little bit, just to recap on the things that have happened since I did this last video, I think about 9 days ago back home. We flew to Dubai and then directly to Oman. And Oman was somewhere that I never really thought about. I mean, there were places I wanted to go. I actually wanted to go to Turkey, and no one else in the family was very keen on Turkey. So we kept looking, and Oman came up as that'd be interesting because it's right next to Dubai. You can literally drive to Oman from Dubai. And then when we started reading about it, everyone was like, this is Oman is just like the most awesome place that you've never heard of, never really thought of. One of the safest places in the world, right next door to Yemen. One of the worst places for safety in the world. Yeah, but one of the safest places. Said everyone's really, really nice. It's traditional Arabic, but progressive and I guess liberal to the extent that with my wife and daughter, we're not going to feel too awkward about the whole thing. And it was awesome. It was super, super awesome. We had a couple of nights near the beach, a few nights up in the mountain with just ridiculously epic views. Incidentally, I'm posting a lot of stuff to Facebook. I post pretty much everything publicly because I work on the assumption that it could be public anyway if you put it on a social media platform. There's a lot more photos there. Went out into the desert, rode a camel into the sand dunes, slept in a tent for the night, woke up in the morning in the desert to just perfect peace and quiet, and then ended up here a couple of nights ago, which is the exact opposite. Now, I've heard lots of people say about Dubai that it's kind of polarizing. It's like you either love it or you hate it, and the time you see people hate it, they're like, it's too glitzy, there's too much wealth and excess, and if that sort of thing bugs you, this is not the place for you. But then other people are like, it's awesome because there are so many different things to do. Now, I just posted some photos on that Facebook page about an hour ago after going to the most amazing car showroom I've ever seen. I love fast cars. And I'll give you a quick rundown. And there's 40 plus photos or something there of the epic stuff. This showroom had 3 AMG ones, and I think there are 200 something AMG ones made in the world. They had F40, F50, Enzo, LaFerrari, multiple LaFerraris there. McLaren Senna almost looked boring, McLaren Speedtail, multiple Pagani Huayras, one in exposed carbon fibre with a sort of semi-transparent paint on it, which is epic. 3 different Bugatti Chirons, including a Devo, which was just out of this world. R35 GTR Nismo, a bunch of R34 and R33 GTRs as well, which were really, really cool. Didn't see any Koenigseggs, my only letdown. I did not find a Koenigsegg out of a lot of it. Loads of Rolls Royces, loads of like normal Ferraris. A couple of Ford GT40s, super, super cool. Bunch of Rolls Royces. There's G-Wagons everywhere. They're all G63s, if not G63 Brabus wagons. And then we went over the road to another showroom, and that had another AMG one, and it also had a Valkyrie as well, an Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is just like nuts. And if all of this sounds like gobbledygook to you, then maybe either you're not into cars or maybe Dubai's not your thing. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on, because I do have some cyber things, and this video is the only thing between me and getting hopefully about 45 minutes in the pool before we go out and do more nighttime things. So, cyber things. This week, 37th government onto Have I Been Pwned with full and free access to query their own government domains, and it is the Armenian government. Now, we've been having some chats with them for a little while about making the data of their domains available for them, and as a quick recap, them and the 36 other governments have access to query anything on their own gov domain, and if they have other domo on their own gov.tld, so what are they? I think they're .gov.am. But say it's Australia, they've got .gov.au. So they have that, and there might be, in fact there were a handful of other government domains on different TLDs. They can query all those for all of the data breaches. It's not just Australia that has bugs. For free. And again, it was just part of trying to help governments, I guess, do what they do, like look after their people. So this is stuff that you could go through and do manual domain verification on and do searches for, and then it might have a fee depending on how big the domain is. We just give it to governments for free. So, welcome to Armenia. Armenia's National Computer Incident Response Team, which is AMCERT, is now on there. So g'day AMCERT, welcome. It's the first Have I Been Pwned thing. I'm conscious I haven't loaded a data breach for almost 2 weeks now. Now I've got a couple sitting there waiting for me to pull the trigger on, and I just haven't had time, whilst frankly trying to have a bit of holiday. I think we're probably going to try and use the fact that because I haven't loaded anything for a couple of weeks, our cache hit ratio at Cloudflare is basically 100%. There's nothing going through to the database. We can do a few maintenance jobs, while that load is so low. And I think Stefan's going to line that up hopefully today, if you're out there, Stefan, so that very, very soon, as soon as those jobs are done, maybe like Monday, I can get those breaches out and we can keep the ball rolling, because the breaches don't stop when you go on holidays. They just backlog up. Right. That's data breaches. Now the next thing, and frankly this is the only other thing on my list today, which is great. This is going to be an easy short one. The book that I wrote, the Pwned book that I started writing with Rob Connery's help and with Charlotte's help. When did we start that? I feel like we had the idea in 2020 and we really kicked into it in 2021. And then in 2022, September I think, we put it out there. I think from memory it was about $39 you could pay for the book. We ran it for more than 2 years, and frankly we sort of got to the point where I was looking at it going, it was never about making money from it. We haven't made much money from it. Never enough to justify the amount of effort that went into it. It was always something that kept me going during crazy COVID times, which we all went through, and then other crazy things in my own personal life at the time, which are in the blog post here, and many of you know about anyway. And it was really good for that period of time. And then with all that work that went into it, we wanted to get something back from it, so we put it out there with a price. And now 2 and a bit years on, I just want to give it away. Like, I just made it free because I think it's almost, if I'm selfish about it, it's almost more valuable for me that I just give it away to people and they can get a little bit more insight into how did we get to where we are today with Have I Been Pwned and with Charlotte and I. That's more important to me than getting a few bucks from a few sales. So anyway, it's out there for free. The whole PDF version of it is there, downloadable for free. The EPUB version's there, downloadable for free. And it's not like the free, which is like, it's free, just give me your personal details and then you can have it. It's like, no, here's the links, right? So just download it directly. I felt now is a good time to do it as well, because you come out to Christmas, people take a bit of downtime, they want some reading. Loads and loads of really nice feedback since I did that less than 24 hours ago. I think we're approaching 1,000 downloads in less than 24 hours, so that's good. It's positive news. And just to recap on what was in there, and I've spoken about this on many videos before, but Rob's idea was, you've got all of these blog posts that I've written over the years, and I think now, including the weekly video blog posts, which I've done 400 and, what about now? 458 or something like that, 429, including those, there's nearly 1,300 blog posts that I've done in the last 15 and a bit years. And a lot of these blog posts, Rob's idea, a lot of these blog posts had a story behind them before they became a blog post. Now what I mean by that is, let's say there'll be something like, what's a good example here? The Ashley Madison data breach, and writing about FAQs, and here are the things that people have been asking me about Ashley Madison. Yeah, I was fairly transparent about that, but there were a lot of messages I got from people that were really, really sensitive in nature. People at the worst point in time of their lives, thinking that their jobs are going to fall apart. It did for many people. Relationships are going to fall apart. It did for many people. In some cases, people's lives literally ended by their own choice as a result of it, which is kind of crazy. So all of that was the backstory. And then, of course, I'd write these blog posts, and some of that backstory I'd share, and then other things that happen as a result of that. And Rob's view was the stories before and the stories afterwards enrich what is already there in ways that people have never seen before. So we should do that. And that's what the book is. So there's a lot of that. And it's everything from things like the Ashley Madison data breach through to I've written blog posts that were frankly deliberately inflammatory in some cases, either for organisations that I think had just had shitty behaviours, or there's one about, I wrote the guitar lessons blog post about when people get pissed at me online. So let's say today I posted a photo of 4 of the different cars I saw at these car shows. So there was the Valkyrie, there was an AMG 1, there was the Bugatti Divo, and there was the Pagani Huayra with the semi-transparent carbon paint job. It's like epic. It's like, which one of these would you like? Now I know that when I post stuff like that, someone is going to get upset at the fact that these are very expensive cars. And they'll say that I'm out of touch, or there's a bigger issue because there is a group of people over here who are underrepresented or unhappy. It doesn't matter what you write. If it's anything which goes a little bit off topic of the normal InfoSec stuff, there'll be someone who gets upset. So the guitar lessons blog post was very much about who cares, like if you get upset, in some cases it'd be like I posted a photo of a beer and someone's upset. Can't you keep it, and drink my beer just while I'm saying that, can't you keep it on InfoSec stuff? Well, it's kind of not the point. I think actually I said in the book, Rob thought I shouldn't include that because I literally had examples where people had posted dumb shit in response to me doing things like, posting a car photo or something like that. Just see the comments crop up. 859 pages. Yes, it is a long book. It's a very, very long book. There was a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about in there. Long holidays coming up. So Rob thought I actually shouldn't post that because it might inflame some of the examples I gave of people frankly behaving like dickheads in their response to what was otherwise very innocent, normal sort of tweets. And I told Rob I was going to do it anyway. And as far as I know, nothing has inflamed, so here we go. Beazle's Anti-Bullying Army, I like your car and jet ski post, mate. And this is the thing, it's, maybe all said and done, certainly on Twitter, and of course the place is changing a little bit, all said and done, let's say 80 or 90% of my content is InfoSec, if not the broader periphery of tech. Maybe it's home automation or 3D printing or something like that. And then there's this slice which is like, I really like cars and I enjoy my jet skis. I've got another jet ski story I can tell you when I get home. And if there's that one little slice of it that's not of interest to you, it's really easy just to ignore it. But also, that's my profile. That's why it's my handle on there. And I just had this flashback to I remember Scott Hanselman very often getting, I guess, digitally beat up if he expressed politics. Now, frankly, there's a point at which people expressing too much politics gets kind of boring, and maybe then it's not for you, and you tune out. But he's like, look, this is him. This is the whole person. And it's just the same for me with the car stuff. Or this is a cool view, as someone just pointed out here. So, that's what it is. Acacia, do these streams get archived? Yes, everything gets archived. So everything gets saved. Every single one of the 429 weekly updates I've done. Geez, I'm going to get to a decade of this before too long. Anywho, they're all there on my YouTube channel. So yeah, everything's still there. All the good ones, all the bad ones, all the ones where I'm tired or emotional or whatever else it may be. So yeah, they're all there. Anyway, so that's the book. It's out there for free. By design, it is there to be as broadly distributed as possible. So feel free to download it, send it to your friends, print it, do whatever you want with it. It's there for consumption. So I think that's actually about it. It's a deliberately shorter one this week while we're here in Dubai, and I think I said we've got, in about 50 minutes from now, I've got to be back in the room getting ready to go out and see a show and do Dubai stuff. For those of you who haven't been here before, it might have been somewhere like Vegas. I feel it's very Vegas. Acacia, yes, the book is free. See the last blog post that went out on Troyant.com. It's a bit Vegas, where the first time I went to Vegas, I was doing a talk there. I had about 24 hours. I walked into that smoky airport with slot machines and stuff everywhere and flashy lights, tired, walked into a not a studio, conference room and did my talk. Didn't like it too much. And then the next time, a friend of mine took me out hiking, and it's like, oh, this is actually not too bad. And then the time after that, I was there with Scott Helm as well, and we were just like hiring fast cars, driving through the desert, going to shows, doing all the stuff that kind of Vegas is made for, which I think is very much the Dubai thing. And then the fourth time I was in Vegas, only a couple of months ago, and again, it's like, let's hire a Lambo and drive through the desert. And that was really good fun. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow's a combination of hire a Lambo, go dirt bike riding, go Can-Am driving, dune buggies, and then go go-karting, just with Ari. And I'm a 15-year-old son, so that's our day tomorrow, which I reckon is going to be pretty epic. I'll put photos of that probably on Facebook, so people don't get upset on Twitter. And I'm going to come and do the next one of these videos probably in a week from today, and that'll be in Oslo. So I'm going to be way, way, way colder in a week. And for reference, it's 28 Celsius now, middle of winter here in Dubai. So yeah, it's nice. All right, folks, I'm going to end it there. Try and get in that pool, and I'll see you next week from Oslo. Cheers, everyone.